killed the Golden Ram? It was man who slew the Golden Ram.
Indeed it was.
An excellent response.
A seed of truth. But does it lie on fertile ground, or cling in vain to rocky perches? You seem to possess a rudimentary understanding of the Fleece's history. Very well. If nothing else, I'll help expand your education. Charity is a virtue, too.
Phaedon, set the bounds of this discussion.
The thesis! The Golden Fleece is an abomination and has no place in the mortal world. The proponent, Phaedon, a humble servant of this temple and its high priestess. The opposition, Jason, an itinerant traveler from parts unknown.
Argument the first.
The Fleece is an abomination. Was not he who created it, the Titan Epimetheus, cast down into Tartarus by Zeus for doing so? Clearly, the Lord of Olympus judged the act of creation to be evil and worthy of damnation. Can we not then infer that the product of that act is also evil and worthy of damnation?
A persuasive argument.
And yet a flawed one. Epimetheus' proud defiance of the command of Zeus was the cause of his undoing. How he defied that command is immaterial. His failing was due to a lack of discipline. Rather than obey the orders given him, he cast aside his duty in foolish competition with his brother. It wasn't the product of the act, but the act itself that drew the wrath of Zeus.
Yes, your argument is sound. You have my support, sir.
Pure sophistry. A clumsy argument to snare the feeble-minded. We continue.
Argument the second.
The Fleece circumvents the will of the gods and the natural order. The immortal gods look down from mighty Olympus and wish such and such to be. And then Cleophas, the half-wit goatherd, uses the Fleece and makes such and such not so.
I say we just kill him.
No mortal should have the power to countermand the divine scheme of life, death, and afterlife. I, for one, believe the will of the gods should be inviolate to the whims and caprices of imperfect minds.
A devout argument indeed.
Devout? I say a cold and cynical one. What of men who honor the gods? What of men inspired by the gods? Does my opponent deny that through man the gods can enact their wisdom? Your low opinion of our kind is unfortunate. But even more troubling is your low opinion of the gods. Surely those whose minds are perfect can foresee all outcomes, fleece or not, and act accordingly.
Indeed, a stirring rebuttal. You have my support, sir.
An untenable retort. The standards of philosophy here are lacking. We continue.
Argument the third.
Verily, the Golden Fleece brings out the worst in men. Wars have been waged for its possession. Brother has killed brother to claim its power. Its very presence on Kithra endangers the people of this island. Woe unto he who sleeps upon a bed of gold, for light is his slumber, and his trepidation constant. Greece is undoubtedly a more peaceful place without the fleece in it.
Insightful words, truly.
That ugly woman sure can't talk.
Do not fool yourself in thinking that a decrease of temptation ensures an increase of peace. Men will fight. They always do. If not for the fleece, then for power. If not for power, then for land. If not for land, then for gold. It's a flawed world, and we are its flawed inhabitants. It takes conviction to do what's right in such a world. It takes... discipline. If we look to govern ourselves first, and our fellow men thereafter, the temptations of this world diminish. In the right hands, the fleece can encourage the discipline of self-governance.
A sober argument, but for me, it collapsed under the weight of its own impetus. This point belongs to Phaedon.
A carefully measured decision. And now for the closing arguments. Good sirs, I appeal to the most discriminating sagacity of this assemblage. The fleece is an abomination, a singularity, and singularities are dangerous things. It has the power to conquer nations, the power to raise the living from the dead, and yet it has no conscience. It gives its power indiscriminately to any who can claim it, whether by brutish strength or cunning guile. Why do we risk such calamity? And for what? All that good men should reasonably do, they can accomplish without the fleece. We are better off without it, say I.
I am a simple man. And simple men are best equipped to deal with simple truths. I am not one for categorical proclamations of surety, particularly when it comes to subjects outside the ken of my experience. What I do know is this: the fleece is neither good nor evil. It does not decide its purpose any more than does my sword. The only thing certain in this life is we all are to leave it eventually. The fleece may delay that moment, but it cannot remove it. We men are transient things. The fleece does not change that. As such, how can the fleece be out of place in the mortal world? It was born of this world. We are taught that the Titan Epimetheus made the Golden Fleece. But in good hands, it keeps us humble. For there is nothing we can do that it cannot undo. Used with prudence, the fleece encourages discipline and imparts wisdom, ensures justice, inspires courage. I hope all here would agree that these virtues most certainly have a place in this world.
Brilliant! We hear Athena's wisdom.
Hear, hear.
Well spoken, Jason. Truly, you are a man of many talents.
Someone fetch a laurel crown.
You can't all be persuaded by this chicanery?
Wonderfully said, sir.
Bah! It was too much to think this self-important rabble could comprehend simple truths. You, sir, are the most dangerous kind of agitator. And there's only one way to reason with an agitator.
There is no debate or argument with evil such as this.
Silence, filthy thing! I am the voice of this temple.
Well, well, would you look at that?
You are a black tongue.
What?
Not that it matters now. My work here is done. That slut Medusa was easy work. And her brother proved a coward.
No!
The fleece left Kithra in the Raven's clutch. The Black Tongues have it now.
You fiend!
Where is it? Where is the fleece? You will tell me!
It is where you cannot find it. Where you cannot even search. This sword, it once belonged to a priest of Hades. We had a debate, he and I. We argued over who was the rightful ruler of Tartarus. He claimed Hades, while I know it to be Hecate. Despite my flawless reasoning, he simply refused to acknowledge the truth. It is a fine blade, is it not? When words fail,
lost and getting my ass beat. Yep.
Not yet, my love. Not yet.
Nigga, if Achilles was actually moving his ass.
It's theft.
You are mistaken, sir.
Then we must
Here!
our... For example, a most rudimentary question.
He speaks true!
Ah, here's a question any acolyte would be expected to answer.
And up.
And the other?
The second.
He had...
Well answered, Jake. Tell us, who killed the Golden Ram?
It was met.
Indeed it...
An excellent...
A seed of truth. It appears the stage is...
Phaedon, set the bounds of this discussion.
The proponent, the opposition,
I...
the fleece is an abomination. Was clearly the law
And yet a flawed one. Epimetheus' proud defiance of the command of Zeus was the cause of his undoing. How he defied that command is immaterial. His failing was due to a lack of discipline. Rather than it was.
Yes, your argument is sound. You have my support.
pure sophistry.
Argument the second.
The fleece. The immortal gods look down from mighty Olympus and wish such and such to be. And then Cleophas, the half-wit goatherd, uses the fleece and makes such and such not so.
I say we just kill.
No mortal should have the power to counter. I, for one, believe the will of the gods should be inviolate to the whims and
A devout argument.
Devout? I say a cold and cynical one. What of men who honor the gods? What of men inspired by the gods? Does my opponent deny that through man the gods can enact their wisdom?
An untenable.
Argument the third.
Verily, the Golden Fleece brings out the worst in wars. It's woe unto he. Greece is undoubted.
Insightful words. True.
That ugly woman.
Do not fool yourself in thinking that a decrease of temptation ensures an increase of... Men will fight. If not for the fleece, then for power. If not for power, then it's a flawed world. And we are its flawed inhabitants. It takes conviction to do what's right in such a world. It takes... courage. That's how we prove the good in us. Take away the fleece and we are not suddenly made more virtuous. That's an argument made of vapor.
Your words soar up.
Vapor! Huh. Good sirs, the fleece is... It has the power. It gives its... Why do we risk such calamity? All that good... We are...
I am a simple man. And simple men are best equipped to deal with simple truths. I am not one for categorical proclamations of surety, particularly when it comes to subjects outside the ken of my experience. What I do know is this: the fleece is neither good nor evil. It does not decide its purpose any more than... The only thing certain in this life is we all are to leave it eventually. We men are transient. As such, how can the fleece be an abomination? It does not alter our fundamental nature. We are taught that the Titan Epimetheus made the Golden Fleece. But why did he make it? To rival the glory of man. Is the fleece a risk in evil hands? Yes. But in good hands, it used with... I hope all here would...
Here with you wonder.
But there is no...
Well, would you look at that?
saved us back there. Praise Athena. How could we?
I can't believe... We philosophers... with...
Your art. We, if not. Thank you, Jason.
It seems Phaedon fooled many.
Indeed. But he had. Where did you learn to orate in such a manner?
I simply spoke what my heart told me. The best speeches are not prepared.
We who follow Athena are taught differently. But you certainly were effective in what you did. Thank you again, Jason.
The Hall of Guardians. Here train the soldiers of the Temple Guard. Here they take their vows of discipline, courage, and humility. One spear can change the course of destiny. Motto of the Temple Guard of Kithra.
One spear is right, and I think I know which one it is. The East Path, to Perseus.
You want to call it here?